Our team has sold over a whopping $225 million in premium just last year alone, and over 7,000 salespeople have been paid. Whether you're a single mom, a grocery bagger, work at the junkyard, a successful doctor looking to make passive income, or an executive tired of the 9-to-5 BS, we're here to interview top producers and managers to help you accomplish your goals and dreams.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today we have a special guest. We have Tatiana Muchacho Stein with us, who is a complete animal. How long you been selling life insurance?
2 years.
2 years. And how much have you done?
This year it was 580 and team-wise 850.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we're going to learn about that, and then we have a special treat for you. So we're going to be doing rapid fire objections at you. Everything we can think of, and I have two people helping me, Vanessa Powell and Madison Montgomery. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
So as we're sitting here, we're going to be thinking of every possible objection that somebody can get over the phone. You do everything on Zoom?
Both. I do Zoom and phone.
Okay. And you do Spanish and English?
Spanish and English.
Okay.
Yes.
So before we get there, I just want to learn about why did you start insurance? What did you do before? And how's it been so far?
So I worked in pharmaceuticals for over 27 years. Was very successful there. Loved it. Then the last company I was with, they did a realignment. I got let go. Then my back was against the wall. My husband was already with FFL, and he had been there already a year, and he wanted me to go into the business. I was a little skeptical in the beginning. It would be the two of us. We have 3 kids, so I was like, I started kind of dabbling into it, and 2024 was the year that I went full. 2023 was the year I went full, and then 2024, and hit Hall of Fame, both of them. So once I started seeing that he was being successful, I was like, okay, I can be part of this, and I love it because I love helping people. That's what I've always done. So it's very, very rewarding to be able to help families and actually see these families grow and then take care of their kids and their uncles and their aunts. So I love it.
Yeah, that's huge. Now, what a lot of people don't know is your husband, this must have been 2020, maybe?
Yeah.
Is that when he started?
Mm-hmm.
He cornered me and he's like, hey, I want to take a picture with you because I basically lost everything and I'm going to rebuild it. And I want to take another picture of you with you. When I rebuild it, I'm going to come find you. And I always tell everybody I'll never forget him because he did that. Now, he was telling me about what happened with him was
he had an internet company. And so then COVID hit. And once COVID hit, he lost it all. So then his back was against the wall. And we're like, okay, how are we going to make our next payment? Our rent payment. And he was just searching the nights, literally online, seeing what he was going to start doing. And then that's when he saw FFL, saw some videos, and reached out.
How did he get started? Like, what attracted him to FFL?
The energy, the potential. I mean, it's really up to you. The sky's the limit. So if you put the hours in, you can get it done, and you can be successful. So that's what he did, and he just looked at it and liked the people that he was seeing in it. Felt that real true stories, challenges. He associated with some of the other reps that he saw videos of, and associated with that. And he said, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it.
Now, I think it's not common to restart an entire new career, and I think most people would think that would be hard to do or not even attempt to do it. How did you do that? Like, what were you thinking? Were you scared? Were you just like, I got this, I'm a beast? What was it?
I wasn't scared on my abilities. I was more scared as to, will this work? Will I succeed? Will I be able to help people and be happy? And, will that be the fuel that's going to wake me up every morning and be like, I'm going to be 110% today? So I needed to have that fuel. And then literally within the first month, I was like, I got this. First was just getting the test done, get the test done, be done, and then really focus. And again, being able to access, different reps, managers, everybody to get information from them, training from them to be able to succeed. And then, but it was hard because several times, you get good days and you get bad days. And several times I was like, maybe I want to go back to pharma.
Mm.
So I did have those moments. I was like, maybe I just want to go back. And then I was like, no.
What did you not like about pharma?
I liked everything. But then at one point, I just got tired too. It was a lot of driving. I'd say the only thing I don't like about pharma is the driving.
Mm.
It's a lot of driving from morning to
Were you
the
seeing
night.
doctors or
Yes.
so you would go see doctors?
Yes. So I was working with cardiologists.
And you would try to get them to use your brand of
Yeah, educating them on the product, educating them on the benefits, what it does for the patient, how to get it approved, all that.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you started from, do you think anybody could start over and if they really gave this a chance, they could?
Everybody can reinvent themselves here at FFL, 100%. 100%. One, we have the systems, okay? We have the support. So change is always, hard for people. But if you're in the right environment with the right support, and who doesn't need life insurance?
Yeah, everybody does. See, I'm seeing like a kind of like a common theme of like somebody has been in a career for a long time. It doesn't work out for some reason or things change. And I'm seeing the ability to work on Zoom and make sales, at any hour of the day because you can work all the different time zones, including Hawaii. I'm seeing this become pretty common, and it's starting to make me think this is a big opportunity. Like, a friend of mine could never drive all over the place to make sales, but they're making a few sales a week, which I forgot how much that could change somebody's life, like just a few sales a week. And they're so happy. I think there's a big opportunity here for situations like that,
Yeah. And this is like when you compare it also to pharma that you ask, like, what's one thing you don't kind of like about pharma? Was that you don't get your numbers right there. You get your numbers like 3 months after. Okay. So you work really hard, and the doctors are saying, yep, it's working. It's great. You see the product coming out, but you really don't see anything until 3 months. While the beauty of this industry is you see it right then and there.
You get paid in a
You
few.
get paid, 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, depending on the carrier. But it's, so your business is closed, it's done, but then it's not done there because you got to make sure you follow up with the client and do the proper servicing for them.
So let's say somebody's in a career that they're sick of and they wanted to try this. Would you recommend they try it part-time and see if they're good?
They can try it part-time, if they still want to keep their other job. Because the beauty of it, if they're working a 9 to 5 job, perfect. Then from 5 to 9, it's perfect dial time to have appointments, do mortgages, final expense, whatever it is, because that's when people are home. So they can try it like that. But once they start seeing deposits coming in and business being closed, they're going to be like, they'll make the move. They'll make the move immediately. Within less than a month, they'll make a move.
Once they start seeing it.
Once they
Well,
start
my Uncle
seeing it.
Jimmy is kind of the same. He worked in Vegas nightlife for like 30 years. And he tried selling insurance when we drove around everywhere, and he hated it because we would have to go see everybody in person. And so he's like, I'm not going to do this. And then once he came back around and was like, wait, you could do it on Zoom and over the phone now? And he thinks this is the greatest thing in the world. Like, He's the biggest fan of selling insurance ever.
And
No, it's
salsa.
awesome.
And
It's
selling
salsa.
his salsa. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just think that's pretty cool, like where we're going and the opportunities we have. What's the hardest thing you've gone through in insurance?
The hardest thing I've gone through was just getting the test done. Honestly, I just had to focus and get it done. And then once that was done, I was like, that's it.
What about chargebacks?
They're expected. So I don't think that's the hardest, but they're expected. And that's your fault.
Could you get chargebacks in pharma?
No,
I guess they already give the medication out, and then
correct. Correct.
so in pharma you got paid on how many prescriptions were filled with that specific.
Correct. Correct. So whatever volume.
And do the doctors get paid more or less?
No,
based
no,
off
no. The
of-
doctors get nothing.
Got it.
The doctors get nothing. Yeah.
Got it.
That has nothing to do with the doctors.
Got it.
It's all to the reps, but then you're also competing against the whole United States, ranking wise. So, somebody in Florida can be doing really well and somebody in Massachusetts, and it all depends also on insurances because some insurances will put the product as a preferred, others insurance might not. And you have to do what's called a prior authorization for that the doctor needs to fill out in order to get that medication to the client.
Got it.
So, it's different. It's definitely different.
Okay, so chargebacks would you guys agree that chargebacks are the worst part of the business?
They're expected. Like she said, they're expected.
But what's the worst part of selling insurance? At least with us.
Probably chargebacks. I mean, I hate to see money go. Who doesn't?
Yeah, it's always the people that love you so much too. They're like, I would adopt you. You're awesome. And then the
Yeah.
next day they cancel.
When
Yeah.
someone tells me you did so well, I love you, like I'm gonna call you tomorrow.
Someone's told you they love you?
I've had a lot of clients say I love you. I've had clients cry on the phone. To me, it's something that is real and you experience it because some people that we work with just need someone to talk to in that moment.
Yeah,
And
it's real.
I live dial with my agents, and a lot of times my agents will listen to a call I'm on, and they're like, in reality, that guy or that woman really needed to just talk to you as well. You helped them, you protected their family, but they really needed to have that conversation and kind of let it out in that moment.
I have a client that literally almost calls me like every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the other day I grabbed the phone and I'm like, what's up? And he's like, do you know what my insurance, my home insurance is with and my appliances? So he calls me for everything, or who can I talk to about this? I'm like, okay. But, that's again, the relationship that you build with your client that now for everything they call you.
Yeah, I had a client who was, he recently died. He was 89, I think, when he died. And me and him became really good friends. And my wife was always like, who are you talking to? And it would be my customer, which was crazy because he knew a bunch of my relatives from like a long time ago. So when I had an appointment with him, he was telling me about like my family history. And then we became friends. And he'd call me all the time. And he was awesome. He came over to my mom's house for dinner. I went to lunch with them a bunch of times. But that is a cool part of this industry. And you're right. Sometimes people just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do.
that's huge.
Mhm.
Okay, other than chargebacks, what's the worst part? I'm going to tell you what the worst part for me is. Initially picking up the phone and starting to call people. Is that bad for you guys?
Not for me.
I
It
think
was-
it's the environment too
Yeah.
that you're in. Like if
Yeah.
everyone is positive, everyone's ready to work, then you are too. I think if you take a long break too and then you come back and you start dialing, you're like, whew,
That's
I'm
the
a little
hardest.
rusty. Yeah.
That's the hardest. When you go on vacation and you come back and you're like, I got to restart. Like, I can't talk. I can't speak. I can't grab the phone. It's like, right?
Yeah. I felt like in the beginning, I did not want to pick up the phone. I was one of those new agents that kind of just sat there and was like, okay, well, I'm going to listen to a couple more presentations. I'm going to watch a couple of YouTube videos before I actually pick up the phone and dial. And now, same thing when I go go on vacation or on a trip, I come back, but I feel excited to dial now.
Oh yeah, you're dying.
yeah.
You're like, I need to get back.
Yeah. I was talking to someone this morning. I was like, I can't wait to get back home tomorrow and dial. And it's something that's really common. Amongst my team, we hear it often that we can't wait to dial.
So I just don't take vacations more than 3 days because I feel like at the day 3, I'm like, I got to go do something.
Mm-hmm.
But you could sell on vacation now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do like work trips and, you know.
Yeah, but when you
sell
have
and things.
kids, I think at some point you got to be like, I'm 100%.
I had to go to Spain because for my mom, and I was working from there.
Dang.
So when she would go to bed, I would pick up the phone and I'd had appointments and I'd be doing business out there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it is.
All right, so basically what we've discovered is working is the worst part, calling people, but you got to do that somewhere. And you can enjoy it if you have the right attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And then chargebacks, which need to be expected. How do you tell someone it needs to be expected? Because like people come in here, they think it's like a regular job, and then they get like shocked if they get a chargeback. What do you tell people?
Well, that's your responsibility too, because you need to make sure that you're protecting the right client with the right amount. Make sure that when you're doing the call, I always do a financial inventory to make sure that they can actually afford it. Because the other day I had a lady, I want $50,000. Well, I'm looking at your budget and when I see what the premium, you can't afford that. And I'll tell the client. Why? Because I don't want a chargeback. So I'm like, let's start smaller and then give it some few months and then we'll see if we go up. So it is part our fault. We need to make sure, and then we need to follow up. Maybe the chargeback was because we put the wrong banking information and we missed one number, or maybe the client didn't give us the right information. And now that they know it's real, and they get the policy, but it's still not active because there was an issue with the payment. You need to follow up, because then if you don't follow up, then it's a chargeback.
Yeah. And I call that I used to be a hit and run agent. I'd get paid and disappear. And I wouldn't want to call them because I'm like, what if they want to cancel when I call them? So I think the answer though is to be a full service agent and plan on being their agent for a long time. And you want to know if there's a problem, so you should call them and check in and stay in touch with them, write the right product, and then you'll still get chargebacks because someone's kid is going to come in and think he's an expert because he went to a Primerica meeting one time 6 years ago, and they're going to cancel, and you just have to factor it into your profits.
For sure.
So all right, so I want to get into some objections. So can you run through what kind of lead you work, and then let's have you call Vanessa and do a role play with her.
Okay. So I use the ILC leads, and
which ones?
For mortgage protection.
Okay. So the aged ones?
Yeah. Well, no, and new mailers too.
And new mailers? Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much my focus. And then my husband's going to start on the veterans because he's a veteran as well. So he's going to start on the veteran leads now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to call a mortgage protection lead, and you're an expert at mortgage protection, that's your thing.
I consider myself pretty knowledgeable, yes.
So you're going to call Vanessa, and then we're going to come up with some objections. You can give her some throughout the call.
Perfect.
And we'll also chime in as well.
Okay. So do we have an appointment, or am I?
Well, tell everybody how you run. What do? Do you have a dialer book your appointments?
So I have a dialer that books my appointments, or I book, myself as well. So both.
Okay. So you pay a dialer to call, schedule your day, and then how many people do you see a week?
On average, I have between 10 to 12 a day.
How many days a week?
So, and I work 6 days.
So you're just you're presenting all
the
day.
whole day. The whole day.
Is it
8 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the evening.
Do you say the same thing, same jokes, same everything?
Well, Well, it depends on the client, but for the most part, the same.
Do you
the
say
same
any
script.
jokes?
But on the fly.
On the fly.
Yeah, depending on the client.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I ask them, oh, in the last 5 years, have you had any surgeries? And they're like, what? Or what are the medications that you stop that you're no longer taking? And for how long did you take them? And they're like, I can't remember. I'm like, I know. I'm asking you to remember something 5 years ago. I can't remember what I had for breakfast today. And then they chuckle on that, and then they're like more at ease and they're like, okay, well, let me think. And then they go.
That's good.
So
All right. So you got a lead. You had someone book the appointment.
Let's do one call close. 'Cause
But
feel
I don't think she does one call close.
Do you do it like outbound dialing at all? Or?
I mean, I do outbound dialing, yeah. And if I can get them there, it just depends, what I'm doing. If I'm focused on just dialing, then I'll just focus on dialing and then I book them for the afternoon. Or if it's a one call close, or if it's somebody that I know I've tried to reach and it's been impossible, and then finally I get them on, I'm like, okay,
You're getting them.
I'm done.
All right, let's do appointment though.
Okay.
Let's say you have 50 appointments this week. You're gonna call Vanessa and you're gonna try to close her.
Perfect.
Hello?
Hello, Vanessa.
Yeah, who's this?
Yes, this is Tatiana Muchacho. I'm the field medical underwriter for the state of New Jersey. How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm glad. I'm calling you today regarding today we have the meeting regarding mortgage protection. And so I don't know if you recall receiving in the mail maybe some postcards reminding you when you closed on your mortgage to make sure that this appointment would take place. Do you recall receiving those postcards?
Yeah, but I don't really know what mortgage protection is. I don't even remember really filling it out, to be honest.
Don't worry, don't worry. When we do have mortgages, obviously we fill out a lot of paperwork. And I totally understand. And that's why I'm here today to really explain to you what mortgage protection is and to see if you can qualify. Because not everybody qualifies, and that is my role as a field medical underwriter. But before we start, what is this your cell phone number where I can text you my state license information?
It is, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to send this over to you. It's going to be coming from my cell phone number. I like to make sure my clients have direct access to
Can
me.
you text that to Drew so we could pull it up on the screen and people watching can see what you're sending? Do you have Drew's number?
No. Hold on.
If you send it to me, I can send it to him too.
Yeah, so for everybody watching, she's sending something to the customer to give credibility. His number is 562-221-1659.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so he is single. For any girls on here, he goes by Factory Fresh.
I'm going to put a picture
Let's-
with his
yeah, let's put-
age,
Can we put
his
his
weight,
picture on here?
Did you
age,
get it?
weight,
First name, age,
hobbies, matchmaker.
Did you
Andrew
get
over
it?
here.
Still waiting.
Okay, when it comes up, Drew, let us know. We'll keep going.
All right, we'll do.
Okay.
So you just received the text.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. Perfect. So you can see there, my name is Tatiana. I am the field medical underwriter. It is required by the state as well as by the carriers that I work with to make sure that you have this so you know that you're speaking to a licensed underwriter. Okay? This is regarding the loan that you initially took out with Rocket Mortgage. Okay? So if you can please confirm your first and last name for me and the address.
Vanessa Powell, 123 Main Street.
Perfect. And Vanessa, it's only you on the mortgage, or do you have anybody else on the mortgage?
Yep, I have a spouse.
You do have a spouse.
Mhm.
Okay. And is your spouse here as well?
Yeah, he's here.
Okay. Perfect. Because, yeah, it is very important that we have but the two of you on the call since it's involving the two of you.
All right, pause.
Mhm.
Is your appointment setter making sure they're both there?
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
usually when you call them, they're both there.
Mm-hmm.
And are they getting reminders? Are they getting
Through Calendly, yes.
So
They'll get it a text and an
Calendly
email.
spitting out reminders saying your appointment's coming up? So
How many do you send, like, before the appointment?
They get several. They get like 2 hours before as well. I mean, they get before the day, and then they get 2 hours before, and they get 5 minutes before.
Do they ever reschedule on their own?
Yes,
Quite a bit.
sometimes. I don't open my schedule too much, so I normally have like 2 days open. You
Got it.
know, and even for when my dialer is booking, I really only open 2 days for him. I don't want him booking 5 days out or 6 days out. I want it to be for those 2 days.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah.
Drew, you get that picture yet?
No, where is it getting sent to?
Then it didn't go. Then I wrote his number wrong.
Oh, you sent it to someone else.
I guess so.
Okay, 562.
Hold on. Hold on, let me pull it.
You want to just send it to me and I'll send it to him?
No, we want to make sure the whole world knows his number.
Okay.
No, I sent it to you. Andrew.
Okay, hold on. Tatiana. Okay, so you're sending just a screenshot of your license.
Mhm.
All right, Drew, I'm sending this over to you right now. Drew, can you pull this up?
Yep, just give me a sec.
So Vanessa, the customer received this screenshot we're going to pull up so everyone can kind of see. Now, how much does this help you as far as credibility goes?
A lot.
Like how much?
Like, I won't even start the call until they have that. And especially if I even know, like, you know, sometimes my dialer will put a note like was skeptical or was confused or whatever. So just to get that out so they know that, one, I'm a real person, that they can go search me and find who I am. And a lot of time, and they receive that as well, my license information within Calendly. So some of them have already looked me up before they get on the call.
Got it. So it makes it even better.
So it makes it even better. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also when they receive the text, they also see, you know, I'd only cover one state. I have several states that I cover. So then they see that I cover several states as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Let's keep going.
Perfect. So Vanessa and John, so wanted first and foremost also to explain to you what the purpose of the call is, what is mortgage protection, make sure that you guys understand this, and then see if it makes sense for you guys and if this is something that you guys need. Okay. So mortgage protection, what this does is it's going to protect you guys while you're living. So God forbid we get heart attacks, strokes, cancer, a bad car accident. We don't die, but we might not be able to work for a few months. Okay? We still have all our bills coming in, the mortgage that needs to be paid. Plus, if we're having any medical issues, we're going to have expenses with that as well. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
Okay. So this mortgage protection is what's going to make sure that it pays for your mortgage during that time. Okay? So for example, I had a client, 27 years old, super young, not one medication. I protected him a year ago. 6 months, called me in, said he had kind of like a stroke behind his eye, his right eye. Lost vision in his right eye. It wasn't going to be permanent, but it was going to be for a while, and he couldn't work. He had his policy, his mortgage protection policy, that was able to pay for his mortgage during that time. And it was 6 months that he did not have his vision. Okay. Once it came back and he went back to work, perfect. Everything the same. But he was so grateful he had his protection. He called me. He goes, Tatiana, I thought I never was going to use this. And I'm so glad I had it. Because otherwise I would have lost my home. So that's where it makes a difference.
Now, are you telling the customer this?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
tell the
So this
customer
is your
that.
presentation.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell my customer, and they're like, oh, I understand this now. And I go, perfect. So, because a lot of times people think, but I didn't die. And I'm like, no, but that's the whole point. Most clients, most individuals, unfortunately, lose their home when they're living, not when they're dead. It's when they're living. And they go, yes. Okay. So, Vanessa, I see here that the mortgage is $300,000. Is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. And how long have you been in the home?
We just bought it.
Awesome. Congratulations. New
Thank you.
home, new year, right? Fresh
Yeah.
start. Awesome, awesome. Is this first time home buying for you guys?
It is, yeah.
Oh, even better. Actually, you're probably my fourth couple today. First time home buyers under the age of 30. So this is awesome. Looking forward to making sure we can protect you guys and your biggest asset being your home. Perfect. So how much monthly are you guys paying?
We just started paying, so probably around 1,500 or so.
Okay. Okay. And do you have to pay any homeowners association fees or anything like that?
We do. We have HOA taxes and things like that. So altogether, probably around 1,700,
Okay.
1,500.
Okay. Perfect.
Vanessa, give her objections.
So I was gonna say, so one of the common objections. Well,
No, just give her the objection
well, it was
before.
yeah before. So
Okay.
something that people will ask is this like life insurance or is this life insurance? What do
Okay,
you
good.
say to that?
Yep. So this is a form how life insurance is used to protect your home as well. Okay, so it is a life insurance product, but I do customize things based on each client. So today I'll ask you a lot of different questions. Okay, because the way I'm going to look at the two of you is going to be totally different than the way I'm going to look at a couple that's 70. Okay. Why? Because I look at your world and I'll customize everything based on the two of you and see what makes sense. Okay. But it is a life insurance product because they'll protect you anything terminal, anything critical, anything chronic that happens, you'll
Mhm.
have that coverage there as well.
Now, I don't know if I would be interested because I have coverage through work.
Perfect. Most of my
Mm.
clients do. Unfortunately, what happens with work, I don't know if you're aware of this, is you're paying the life insurance, you pay it very cheap, right? Why? Because you're not the policy owner. Okay?
Mhm.
You just have like a certificate. It's really the company. And once you leave that company, you don't have anything.
Mhm.
Okay? So you want to have something that you own, that you're not attached to a company that's going to dictate if you have life insurance or not.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, we just purchased the home, right? So we have a large bill coming in now. Um, so we're just kind of worried about adding on another bill, to our expenses. How much does it cost?
That's the purpose of
There
the
we
call
go.
today. That's the purpose of the call today because it's different for everybody. And I can't even tell you it's going to be 30 or it's going to be 5 or it's going to be 100. I can't. Because again, I customize everything based on the two of you. And it's going to depend on your age, your health, how much coverage we put on, and how I structure it. And then I'll come up with a few different options for you guys so we can see what best fits the two of you. And that's a decision you guys will decide which of the three options is best.
Okay.
Okay? Perfect. Okay, so let me see here. Vanessa, what is your date of birth?
10,999.
Okay, perfect. Are you a smoker or non-smoker?
Non-smoker.
And what's your height and your weight?
5'7", about 120.
Okay, perfect. And what's your occupation?
Insurance.
Awesome. And how much do you make maybe monthly or yearly?
Why do you need that?
Because again, I'm going to make sure I'm looking at your world, okay? And I want to make sure I customize everything and that it's something that you guys can afford as well. Like you said, you have a lot of expenses coming in, okay? This is going to be one that we want to make sure that you get a flat tire or anything like that, or the car breaks down. You don't say, oh, I'm going to cancel my life insurance because I need extra money now to change the tire. So this is why I ask all these questions to customize everything for you.
Okay, so we make around.
Well, I want to know what you make, and then I'll ask what your husband makes because, again, I want to make sure I separate everything.
So I make around 3,000 a month.
Okay.
My husband makes around also 3,000.
Okay, perfect. And so now I'm going to ask the two of you these medical conditions. You tell me if you guys have had any of these. Have we ever had a heart attack, a stroke, a TIA, or cancer?
So let's skip through the medical stuff. But and then continue? Where do you pick up after all the medical
And then I
questions?
get all the medical questions. And then I go, does anybody else live in the home with you guys, or is it only the two of you?
Yep, we have kids.
Okay. And what are the ages?
1 and 3.
1 and 3. Perfect. Great ages. And do you guys have any significant forms of savings, like any 401ks, IRAs, stock bonds, mutual funds, anything like that?
What does that have to do with my mortgage protection?
Again, like I said, I like to see your world because I'm not just looking at today, I'm looking at your future. So I want to make sure that you guys have the right amount of coverage based on what you have.
Yeah, we have a 401k.
Okay, perfect. And that's with your current employer or a past employer?
Current.
Perfect. Okay. And do you have an idea on average how much you might have in there?
Like 50,000.
Okay, perfect. And do you guys have anything that acts like life insurance that you actually own? You said that you have the one from work, but do you have anything that you own?
No.
Okay. Okay. And then, God forbid, Vanessa, John passed away tomorrow. Would you want to stay in this home, or do you think you would move somewhere else?
I'd want to stay here with the kids.
Okay. Okay. And what would John want to do? What would you want to stay in the home as well? Okay, perfect. And okay, so now let's go over, like I mentioned to you, that I was going to do some medical questions. Now I'm going to ask some financial questions. Okay, more about your expenses. So, what are your expenses monthly on average?
3,000 a month.
Okay, okay. Normally, I go down through every expense, but I'm not going to do that
I
right now.
mean, dude,
We should jump to like once you pitch options because I feel like
Yeah,
that's
but-
where
yeah, I just want to dig in on the why, because like you're kind of creating the need for it.
Mhm.
And then do you ever reference like how expensive stuff is? Like when people are like, well, $100 is expensive. And you're like, dude, like you can't even go to Chipotle with like 3 people and not spend $100.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Yeah.
ever do that?
yeah, I do.
Mhm. Well, what I do also when I do the expenses, right? Then they're paying like $200 on cell phone, right?
Got it.
And
So
then they're doing cables and all these subscriptions. And once they realize what they're spending on some of these things, they're like,
I think I have like 5 Paramount Plus accounts.
there you go. Netflix, all the different, Hulu's, all up, it adds up. It adds up. So once I go out and give them a quote and they say, let's just say it was $100, they go, oh my God, that's so expensive. I'm like, oh yeah, but you're paying $250 on your cell phone.
Yeah.
So, what's more important, your cell phone or your life and your home? So then I just, throw it back at them. And I'm like, okay, well, is it that you just don't care?
You say that.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I'll when I'm talking to the clients, they're like, and I go, well, there must be one of these 3 reasons why you're not taking the policy. Like if they're go, oh, I can't do this, it's too expensive or whatever. 1, you don't like me. And that's fine. If that's the case, tell me. If I didn't do my job correctly, tell me so I can improve, right? Then 2nd, you can't afford it, but you can based on the information that
But you don't want to.
And then lastly, you just don't care. You just don't care about your wife. You just don't care about what happens with your kids when you're gone. You just don't care. So out of those 3 options, out of those 3 reasons, what is the reason why you're not going to take the policy today and see if I can get you approved?
Ooh.
And I just
That's
shut up.
good.
He's definitely not getting any after that if he says no.
Oh, and I shut up. I mean, I've had a client that said, my car is more important.
Damn.
Because he was paying thousands in the car. He goes, the car is more important. I said, you know what? Then I can't help you.
What does wife say?
I I told her, I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I can't help you. I said, if you do change your mind, call me back, but I can't help you. And those 3 things I constantly say to clients.
How many times do people say, yeah, see ya?
Like, oh yeah, I'm just not interested by. Oh, A lot. But
But you're not going out easy.
no. Oh, no. I leave it all. I leave it all. I mean, I've gotten some heated conversations with some clients, and they're like, don't tell me I don't care about my family. Well, you have no life insurance currently, but you're spending all this other stuff. I'm giving you a life insurance for $40 and you are not taking it. And we don't even know if you're applied. And I said, and today you're the healthiest and youngest you'll ever be. So don't, call me in 6 months. What I told you today might not be available on the table for you.
Why don't you just go, call me next week. Here's my information. Call me when you're ready.
They'll never call you. And when they tell you, oh, I'll call you.
Do you
Yeah, I'll call you when we decide. I right then and there tell them, I'm not top of mind for a lot of people. And you're not going to call me next week. So just tell me now. No. We really didn't need to think about it. I'm like, the carriers need to think about it too, is what I tell them. First, we put in an application. We see if we can get you approved. Once you're approved, we still have 30 days to go up, down, whatever you decide to do. Because again, I'm customizing everything based on you guys. We want to make sure it's something that works.
Yeah, that's huge.
So
I love it. So you go right at them.
I go to the juggler. Like I don't.
You don't play.
No. Plus, I have so many. But one thing is, when I'm with a client, I'm with that client, and I will give it all. Even if I know I'm late now for my next one, I don't care. I'll finish with the client that I have in front, and then I'll go to my.
What's the
next one.
craziest thing you've said to a client?
Well, that one about the car. I was like, really? Your car is more important than your wife.
Have you seen the dude who's in love with his car on Instagram? Have you guys ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
He's like in a relationship with his car. It is hilarious.
What kind of car?
It's like an old like Toyota or something. He like I don't know.
That's
but-
funny.
But yeah, that one was heated.
Crazy.
But the funny thing is the wife called me like a week later. Her. Okay.
And she said, I want to get it for my kids.
And so he doesn't have any. But I got them protected.
I've
And I
had that a
said-
few times. Yeah, I've had that a few times.
Because I've had several calls where I have the client that's like, I need the husband. And she's like, he doesn't want to do it at all. Like, he does not want to do it, but I do.
I've had that so many times.
And I'm like, okay. I'm like, then that's, because otherwise I would call that a one-legger. And I don't like to do one-leggers at all. But at that point, it really wasn't a one-legger. He was not going to show up at all.
Mm-hmm.
He did not want to participate.
But you still got the sale.
I still got the protection, yeah.
Yeah. I started telling people, which I wish I learned this earlier, when they were like, we need to think about it. They would always say, can we think about it? They wouldn't say, we need to think about it. They go, can we think about it? And I would just go, no. We just need to know which one you think works for you to get you approved, and we can adjust it if we have to.
Mm-hmm.
So which one is the most affordable? And people would be like, oh, we can't think about it. Okay, that one is the most affordable. That works.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do that?
Yeah. I'm very direct with people. And if I hear I think about it past presentation, first of all, I think most objections are areas of education. So there's a reason that they're objecting. You need to dig into that, have that conversation, and then from that point, if they still feel the need to think about it, it's very simple. It's either price, the coverage, or they just don't care.
I just don't care.
Yeah. I spent too many years being too soft. And like people saying they're going to call me back. You want to know a messed up story? I was so nice. And people would just literally like take advantage of my time like crazy. But this was the breaking point, okay? This is when we had to drive to go see people. But it's like Saturday night, and it's like 8 p.m. and I'm with this family and they just had a kid. Guy's a police officer. They pick out their plan and they're like super happy. And they need to get the kid in the bath, which now that I have kids, I know that is not an easy thing to do. But they go, all right, come back tomorrow. And I'm going to have all my friends who are also police officers over because they need this too. And I was like, dude, I live 2 hours away. He's like, well, it's going to be worth it for you. Like, okay. So I drive home, go to like In-N-Out at like 11 p.m. because it's that late, which is usually a must if you're running appointments on the weekends. And then come back. I drive back the next day. I get there at like 9 a.m. Not only did he not answer the door, but they were home. Okay. So I'm sitting there like calling, texting, nothing. So then I drive home and I'm like, I'm never, ever going to take this. I need to think about it ever again because I've never had anyone get covered ever. So I'd rather just do what you're doing, which is just be okay with being uncomfortable and try to close them or not.
And I've had clients that, they have called back, but they're far in between. So I'll be like, whoa.
I haven't.
Oh yeah, I've had, and I've been like, whoa, okay, are you ready now? Okay, I'll do it. But yeah, it's not that many.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so let's get to pricing, and you wanted to give objections when she shows you prices?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like what do you say when, obviously you have your pitch, you go through, how many options do you go through? 2, 3?
Depending on the client, but on average I do 3. Sometimes I might do 2, but I'll do, let's say if it's a mortgage, I might do like a full mortgage, maybe like for yours would be, I don't know, 300,000. Then I would do maybe like a 200 and a 150. So I do a full mortgage, a little bit less than the full mortgage, and then half of the mortgage.
And how do you determine if you're going to be pitching both spouses? Options, like do you just automatically do both?
Once I see how much income each brings. So if the mom is a stay-at-home mom, okay, and he's bringing all the money, okay, and if we have a really tight budget, working with, my priority at that time is going to be the dad, okay, the husband.
Which makes sense.
But at the same time, let's just hypothetically say budget is fine, still wife doesn't work, okay, because she takes care of the kids, husband makes all the money, but I still tell them, okay, so, what if Vanessa gets sick? Okay, now who's going to take care of the kids? Now that's time off your job that you have to stay home, okay, to take care. So that's an expense, or that's income that you're not going to be receiving. While at least if we have some coverage on her, if something like that happens, at least we'll be able to cover at least part of it for that. And they're like, that makes sense. But a lot of times I'll be like, we don't necessarily need to put the same amount on each. But then if they both have equal income coming in and there is a budget, then obviously it'll be for both. Because something can happen to one or something can happen to the other.
Yeah.
And one objection I get is a lot of times like, well, do we have to get it for both of us? Or can we just get it for one? Like that's a question a lot of times I get. And then I'll explain to them the reasoning behind it. And they're like, okay, that makes sense.
How important is it to tell stories?
Very. Because you're making it live.
That's the only way I learn. Is stories I can learn easily.
So I'll kill my clients in the call. So I bring them back to life.
Okay.
I do. So, so I'll kill Vanessa. So I say, okay, so now Vanessa passed away. But no, Vanessa's dead. Yep. Now what does his world look like? And I just let him talk. And he's like, oh my God, now I have to take care of the kids. Now this, now that. Like all of it is on him. And I just let them talk. And so then I bring her back to life and then I kill him. And then I hear what she has to say. And then I'm just repeating what they said to me. Okay, so if I hear you correctly, your world would be upside down. You might even move to your parents' house because of the kids. That means a lot of stress, not only having to, take care of any of his final expenses, but then fixing up the house, moving, all this. That's a lot. Okay. So that's how I decide the amount of coverage as well. You know, if we did a full, a half, because even if I do a half, I calculated for them how many years that's going to be. So if we have one kid that would be out of high school in 5, 10 years, like out of school, then I'd be like, by that time, you have 10 years of mortgage payments here. Your son will be graduating. You'll be able to move wherever you want. And your house is paid to, whatever coverage we put on. And they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's huge. All right. What are some objections you have that we can give her?
For price or just
Just for anything.
throughout the call?
Like, what are we missing?
How do you handle, because with mortgage protection, a lot of people go into it having certain expectations about what they want. So how do you handle people, like let's say you're pitching equity protection. How do you handle people saying to you, well, I want the full mortgage paid off?
Oh, yeah.
That's a very common one to
Very
get.
common. Yeah.
What
yeah.
do you say to
You
that?
get a 70-year-old, oh, no, I want
Yeah,
400,000.
I only want the full mortgage.
I want the full mortgage or that's it. And I said, you know what? You're totally right. I totally understand you. I want a Ferrari, but I have a Ford. You think I'm not going to use the Ford to move around because I want a Ferrari? And they're like, okay, but I still need to get stuff done. So the Ford allows me to do that. This is what the equity protection is going to do. It's going to allow your wife to have some peace of mind, to be able to mourn you, to be able to decide what she's going to do. And we're protecting that equity. Because unless you want to give that money to the bank, but I would want to leave it to your wife if something happened to you. And then they're like, oh, okay, you're right. But that's a tough one because they always want the full. They always want and it's always those that can't get it, that are much. And I'm like, no. And I always tell them something is better than nothing. Here with the equity protection, we're giving her a year and a half, or 2 years to decide what she's going to do. And that's a peace of mind for you, and that's a peace of mind for her. And then they're like, okay.
Yeah, but I need to talk to my kids about this because they're going to be the beneficiaries.
Don't worry. I'll definitely talk to the kids as well, actually, because that's something that I do. So, because it's important for your beneficiaries to know what you have, okay, in case something does happen. Okay, they know who to reach out. They know that they can reach out to me, to the company directly. So I'll establish a relationship with them as well. Okay, but you need to make the decision. It's your home. So,
what if they
which
say,
one?
I'm in the shower, can you call me back?
I've had those. And you know what I've told them? I'm like, why did you pick up the phone?
I've got that a few times. And I'm like, are they lying to me?
Oh, no, I'll hear the shower. You hear the shower. Oh, I've had like 2. And they're like, just give me a second. And I'm like, no, I'll call you back in 5 minutes. Like, finish up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've had all kinds.
That's fun. It seems like you also have fun with it, though.
You have to. You have to have fun. First, you have to have that fire, that drive, right? And I've always been a very driven person. While in pharmaceuticals, everything, just my daily life, very driven. But you have to have that fire. You have to have that excitement. Every day is different, even though every day you're calling and every day you're talking, but every conversation is totally different. I have a blast. I mean, just even hearing my son in some calls, and we all get this, sometimes we get a call and we get all the words given out to us. like
Yeah.
all the bad ones.
All the bad words.
Oh yeah. Oh, I have a recording from my son. I have to play that to you guys. It's crazy. Crazy. And he kept his posture, composure the whole way through. Okay, sir. Well, I guess you're having a bad day today. I'll call you tomorrow. He called
Did he close them?
him. No.
Some of the meanest people have bought the biggest policies.
Same.
Yeah.
They're always so nice too when you call them out.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're just like, "Are you having a bad day? Like, are you okay?" And then they're like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
So basically, what
You're
I'm
so nice.
getting is the top producers are very straightforward because you guys are all
Mhm.
saying the same thing. Like, I just tell them the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Don't beat around the bush. Call them out.
Oh yeah. Like, and everybody knows me. I have no screen. Like, I'm very direct, just in my daily living and my work, everything. And some clients appreciate that. Some clients don't. But
I think most people do, though.
Yeah.
They like that honesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What's driving you to keep going?
seeing, well, one, obviously sales. You know, sales always drives you. But two, just making a difference in people's lives. Just putting that seed in their family and letting it grow. I've had some really amazing relationships that I built up with the different families, and I still have not met them, face to face. But whenever I go to that state, I know I'll call them and actually be able to meet them. There's one family. It was a mortgage protection lead, and I protected him. She had a 401k, $120,000 sitting there. I created an annuity for her. Now I'm doing an IUL for the daughter. So it just from one lead.
That's legit.
And they call me Christmas, my birthday. I do the same. So it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah. I think you hit a lot of these big objections.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main ones, which we went over, which were think about it,
Mhm.
I need to talk to my spouse. And then, I mean, just like upfront objections if you're dialing, I
Yeah.
already have it taken care of. I'm not interested. things
The
like that.
other thing is like the importance of setting it up with the husband and the wife.
Yeah.
Because I would have people tell me, you don't want my wife here because she's mean. And I'm like, well, she has to because it's my job. And then she comes and she's the nicest person ever. And that's the only reason they get the policy is because of the wife. But long story short, you don't want them to say, well, I need to talk to my wife about it. I can't do anything now. After you spend 45 minutes with them,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you have to do a whole new call. You have to do a whole new call if the husband's there. So I'm like, and they go, well, I'll just give him the information. I'm like, sorry, I need to record the call, and I need both of you in it. That's it.
Do you record the calls?
Yeah.
You record the Zoom?
Yeah.
You do. Good for you. That's cool.
Yeah. So, and they know.
What do you do for like motivation? Is there days where you don't feel motivated? Is there days where you're really motivated?
I mean, obviously you have up and downs. For the most part, always motivated. One thing my husband and I do is we got into pickleball. So when we play pickleball, you cannot think about anything other than pickleball.
Oh,
As
that's so
soon
good.
as you think about something else, boom, the point goes.
Who wins?
Most of the times me.
So
But
you
he
beat him
gives me a
in
good one.
pickleball. You beat him in pickleball and production?
We're pretty close on pickleball. We're pretty close. But we have so much fun. It's so much. If you haven't played it, it's so much fun.
I have. It's fun.
Yeah, it's so much fun. You can't think about any. So that is our break. So we'll take a break between 12 and 2
Every day?
every day. And
Every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pickleball every day.
Every
Have
day.
you heard of Chicken and Pickle?
No.
It's a place in Vegas where they serve chicken and alcohol, and they have like a whole bunch of pickleball courts everywhere. They just built it.
No.
We should have went.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
But I just don't know how those two things mix. Like alcohol I don't know what kind of chicken it is. This place is huge, but it doesn't seem like all those mix together.
I guess
It
you
might
have
work.
I
options.
don't know.
I guess you have options. But yeah, that's perfect because that like breaks our day, and that's like our stress reliever. And we'll just play pickleball, then at the gym, then take a shower, go in a sauna, do that, and then 2 o'clock comes, we're fresh for the rest of the day till 9.
My friend was telling me, he was like, a lot of people have issues because they think it's always supposed to be good, and it's not.
Mhm.
It's never always going to be good. You're never always going to be happy. You're never always going to be on. You're never always going to, but people want to be happy, and they want the fun, productive part of everything all the time.
Mhm.
And then once you just realize, yeah, I just gotta go through this bad part or get through this, and everything turns
Get
around.
back on the wagon and
Yeah,
keep on
and
going.
keep going.
Mhm.
Have you ever gotten real negative?
You know what? No, because my husband also makes sure that he's very positive, energetic, and we're always, reading and doing meditation, all of that.
Your husband
So,
does have really good vibes,
yeah,
like happy vibes.
yes, yes. Everywhere he goes, he brings just that joy to everybody. I mean, it's crazy. Like, I joke around with my mom, but like I'll call my mom and she'll be like, "Where's Gio?" Because he always, always when I do the FaceTime with her, he always like pops in, and he's like, "There's my Gio. There's my Signor Giovanni," as she calls him, and so it's just that positive vibe, And so he always, and yeah, when I have bad days, he's like, "Mom, shake it off. Let's go. Come on, let's go. You got this. You got this. Remember this. Remember that. And go meditate for 15 minutes. Turn it off." And he's very supportive, like at home as well. So
A
it keeps me
beast.
going. Yeah,
Can I call him if I'm having a bad day?
you can totally. He will change it in a day for you, in a minute. He is. He's like, I remember the other day. I can't remember where it was, and I think in one of the Zooms now with the team and stuff, and they go, "Boy, you had a lot of energy."
Dude, even when he was telling me he lost everything, he seemed happy.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's awesome.
He always sees the positive in everything.
Yeah,
So I'm very thankful that he is that way,
that's cool.
because I could get in a rut, and this business could be very lonely for you as well, because
Mhm.
you're dialing and smiling and making the appointments and taking care of all that, but you're doing it. Some people do it from home. Some people go to the office, but a lot of people are remote. So it's a great thing that we have the Zoom where everybody can be there, and you can hear other agents as well and learn from them, and you can help them in their calls as well. So I like that environment that you're kind of alone, but at the same time, you have a whole crew behind you.
Yeah, it's important to be plugged in, or it gets real lonely.
Yeah.
And then you can't get out of your negative thinking because there's no one else to like
Get
be
you
like,
out of it.
yo,
Mhm.
Snap out.
yeah, yeah. But some people say they don't go through that, but I did, and I kind of think they're lying.
I think it's just getting new agents and new energy around consistently. Like new people to be around is what keeps me excited.
Yeah,
Because you forget what it feels like to be a new agent.
and get that check.
Yeah, get that
Mhm.
check, like all the jitters you have on the phone, making your first sale.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
that's huge. All right, cool. Well, thank you for sharing. You're an animal, and I know what now. I know why you're doing so much premium. Can you share your contact info if someone wanted to work with you?
Yes, definitely. So again, my name is Tatiana Muchacho Stein, and my phone number is 617-710-2910. And you can also find me on Instagram as Tatiana Muchacho.
Cool. Thank you for coming in. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.